We're now in the holy habit of worship, and I have heard it said more than once that by many people that one place they find it easy to worship God is within the natural world, within creation. And perhaps that's why creation is known as the first book of God and the Bible is the second book of God. Now that might sound heretical, but it isn't. God created the world, the universe, and we can see God reflected in it. God's fingerprints, if you like, are in everything we see outside. It's important, therefore, that we spend time in the outside world. All of creation is made to worship God. It is what our purpose is. What we are created to worship God, not for God to serve us. We're called to give unique praise and adoration, and all of creation joins in with that. God cares for the birds of the air, the spiders, the bees, the slugs, the tiny flowers and the great trees, just as much as God cares for us. And all of creation, as we heard in that song, calls for God's praise and glory. And it's also in the Bible too, right near the end, in the book of Revelation, we hear of the whole of creation praising God. I looked and I heard the voice of many angels surrounding the throne, the living creatures and the elders. They numbered myriads of myriads, thousands of thousands, singing with a full voice, "Worthy is the Lamb who was slaughtered, to receive power and wealth and wisdom and might, honour and glory and blessing." Then I heard every creature in heaven and on earth and under the earth and in the sea and all that lives in them, singing, "To the one seated on the throne and to the Lamb be blessing and honour and glory and might forever and ever." And the four living creatures called Amen, and the elders fell down and worshipped. The idea that worship is an act of the whole of creation, not just human beings, and it's purely for God. So we here in Brierley are going to go outside and spend a little bit of time in creation, just in the quiet, reflecting on its beauty, looking at what we can see, listening to what we can hear, smelling what we can smell. And then we're going to end with a prayer. I encourage you, go out into your own gardens, look out through the window if you can't go out into your garden, go for a walk. You can always restart the video afterwards and spend 5 minutes just looking at God's glorious creation and saying thank you. And when you've done that, come back and continue sharing with us, even if it's later on today or tomorrow. I'm going to say a prayer in a moment after a moment's quiet, which you might want to pause before you get to. Spend some time looking at the creation, thanking God for all that has been made, and then come back and hear the words of this prayer. Loving God, we thank you for everything you have made. We thank you for designing, creating and keeping all in existence, and for providing for your world. May we discover your heart, your love, your justice and your mercy through this amazing gift. May we see your reflection in it. May we marvel at your fingerprints in the act of our created world. May we join with creation in worship of you. Amen. Going to join together with two more songs now. The first one is called The Stand by Hillsong, and the second one is called God of Wonders by Chapman.